We asked you your top Tegu questions on Instagram, and I'm here to answer those questions today. Stick around to find out what they are, and comment down below the fact that you find most surprising about Tegus. Hi Zen friends, Kasey here. I am a certified vet tech and animal care manager here at Zen Habitats. This is my friend Rosie. She's an Argentine red Tegu. We got a lot of really great Tegu questions on our Instagram, and I'm going to answer them here today. Tegus are really amazing animals. They are native to South and Central America and are found in a variety of different habitats. I'm going to mainly talk about the common pet species of Tegus. Those can include ones like the Argentine black and white Tegu, red Tegus, and gold Tegus, or sometimes known as Colombian Tegus. Tegus are highly intelligent and inquisitive animals. They are large-bodied lizards that grow up to pretty big sizes. Tegus can make excellent pets, but I still consider them to be more of an advanced pet species and should be kept by experienced keepers. The first question that I want to answer is why I love Tegus. I kind of already addressed this, but they're just so smart. They're incredibly intelligent. They are so easy to train to be habituated to handling and hanging out with you. You can even train them to be housebroken. People compare them to having the same characteristics of pretty much a dog, and I totally agree with that. They're just like these big, scaly puppies. They're amazing. And one of my favorite fun facts about Tegus is their ability to actually run on their hind legs. So Tegus are very fast runners, and if they are feeling threatened, they can, like I just said, absolutely run on their back legs for short distances. I think that is like so cool because this is a massive lizard, so it's like a real-life dinosaur. The next question I was asked was, how big do these Tegus actually get? For the Argentine black and white Tegus, the males can get up to 4.5 feet long. The females are smaller at about 3 feet long. Our Colombian Tegus get a little bit smaller, but they're still fairly large lizards. They cap out at about 2 to 3.5 feet long, again with the females being smaller. The next question I got asked was, how long does it take for Tegus to get to their full adult size? Well, there's a difference between their full adult size and their sexual maturity. So Tegus reach their sexual maturity at about 18 months old, or when they're around 2 feet long. They stop growing when they're about 3 years old. On that same subject, we were asked, how long do they live? In the wild, Tegus typically live 15 to 20 years, but it has been recorded that they can live much longer in captivity. The next question that we got asked, which is a great question, is what is the minimum size enclosure for an adult Argentine black and white Tegu? The minimum size enclosure, again, minimum being the key word, because with these guys we want to do bigger is better. It should be 8 feet in length by 4 feet in depth and 4 feet tall. The length matters because we want that to be at least twice the length of our animal. And our height matters because, like I had mentioned, these guys can stand up on their back legs. We don't want them hitting their snouts or the top of their head or potentially burning themselves on any lighting. The minimum amount of floor space should equal out to be about 32 square feet. The question was specifically asked about Argentine black and white Tegus, but I would follow this rule for the other common Tegu species. The next thing that we were asked to go over was appropriate heating and lighting. Like other reptiles, Tegus are ectothermic, so that means that they need heat to basically have their body functions work properly. So for us to kind of copy that natural environment for them, we want to create a heat gradient within their enclosure, so a cool side and a basking side. The ambient temperature should be around 75 degrees Fahrenheit, where their basking spot should be around 110 to 120 degrees Fahrenheit for adults, and a little bit lower, about 100 degrees for juveniles. Like other reptiles, again, UVB lighting is necessary for them to process calcium. It is very important that they have UVB lighting to kind of mimic their normal sunlight that they would have out in the wild. Since we were talking about lighting and heating, I'm also gonna just throw in some of their humidity needs. These guys like it fairly humid, about 60 to 80% humidity. I personally like to help keep the humidity in my enclosure higher by providing an appropriate substrate. So for Rosie, what I did was I used coconut coir, cypress mulch, and orchid bark. I mixed that all up, and it does a really great job of holding that humidity into the enclosure. I also set her up with an automatic misting system, so that way I don't have to go into her enclosure multiple times a day to manually mist her. Substrate that's reptile appropriate can be purchased from pet stores, either online or in person. You can even use cypress mulch from the hardware store, but you have to make sure that it's 100% cypress mulch with no additives. The next question we were asked was about appropriate Tegu diets. So the first thing to understand is that Tegus are omnivores, which means that they eat both meat and plant products. So for Argentine Tegus, their diet's a little bit different than the Colombian Tegus, and it'll also be different if it's an adult Tegu versus a juvenile Tegu. Argentine Tegus should be fed about 60% protein with 30% vegetables and 10% fruit. Colombian Tegus eat more of a carnivorous diet, but are still technically omnivores. They should be getting about 90% protein to 10% plant matter. Young Tegus that are growing rapidly should stick more to that carnivorous diet with more protein than plant material until their metabolism starts to slow back down. On the topic of diet, we were also asked what are some main staple foods to be fed to Tegus. Tegus do best with whole prey items, so that means that they are eating the entire animal, so that's including, organ meats, bones, etc. Some good choices for protein include rodents, chicks, quails, fish, and shrimp. And eggs. Tegus love eggs. The important thing to note about fish, though, is we want to make sure that it is a thiaminase-free fish. So thiaminase is an enzyme that breaks down thiamine or vitamin B in the body, and we don't want to create a deficit or a lack of vitamin B in our reptiles. So some examples of thiaminase-free fish would include catfish, yellowfin tuna, mackerel, things like that. So now that we've gone over proteins, let's go over some of that plant material. So greens like mustard greens, turnip greens, collard greens, all of those are really good. Bell peppers, carrots, sweet potato, and then some fruits. They love berries, papaya, melon, mangoes, apples. We try to stay away from citrusy fruits though, like oranges, because it can be a little harsh on the tummy. Tegus, like I said, love fruit, which is full of sugar, so they are prone to obesity. That's why it's important that we want to kind of bring that number down to about the 10% of their total diet. And like I've mentioned, they're like dogs, and sometimes people feel like they can just feed them a pizza slice. That is not an appropriate diet for your Tegu. If you don't have access to all of these quails and chicks and rodents and such, there are commercially available diets. One that I really like to use is called Reptilink. They basically take the whole prey animals, blend them down, mix them in with some fruit and veggies, and it's pretty much a complete diet. I still supplement with fresh fruits and veggies. Another thing that you can do is high quality, high protein dog and cat food. In this case, you want to look for the pet foods that are like a raw diet, something that has whole prey. So we want things like those organ meats and bones included into the diet. We were asked what my favorite thing to feed Tegus is, and I personally love to feed them berries because they get all excited and they just pop them in and they just throw them down their gullet. They're just so happy about it. We were also asked what is Rosie's specific favorite food, and honestly she loves all food. She's got a great appetite Basically, all food's her favorite except for her veggies. We want to thank you all for your really great submissions. We weren't able to get to all of them, but I hope that what we did get to you find very informative. Don't forget to comment the most surprising fact that you have learned in this video in the comments below. Make sure to like our video and subscribe to our channel to see more videos like this one. Thanks for watching!